from Matt. Matt has been a Christian for just over 2 years now, and he's married to Sophie. There's this song that we sing that has this lovely line, "Even when I can't see it, you're working." And I think as you listen to Matt and Sophie's story, you'll agree that this is a beautiful testimony of how God has always been at work in their lives.
I suppose my story really starts from our wedding, where we had sort of said to each other after the wedding, our next sort of thing in life to do is our honeymoon, and that'll be end of June 2020. And I suppose after the honeymoon we'll then look at other things in life, so starting a family. So we're thinking to ourselves, right, we've got 7 months until we sort of maybe start a family, and we'll go from there. And after the wedding, sort of the next, I suppose, big day was Christmas Day. And I remember waking up really early in the morning, and it was bizarre because it felt like someone had woke me up, and it wasn't like I just naturally woke up early in the morning. I felt like I'd been woken up, and as I did that, I sort of felt the need to put my hand on Sophie's stomach, and I had no idea why. And I just felt the need to really sort of pray for protection whilst my hand was on her belly, and like, I don't know what was going through my head. I kept thinking, why am I doing this? Anyway, it was only about a week later where Sophie started getting the symptoms of pregnancy, and so we took a test, one of those really cheap tests, said that she was negative. Well, great, okay, we'll crack on then. Then the symptoms kept persevering. We took another test, a bit more pricier one this time, and it come through as positive. And we're like, great, this is amazing. Obviously we were so overwhelmed. It was just incredible to think that, okay, it's not what we planned, but I felt at that point in time that there's more to this. God's doing something. God has a plan here, because it was within a few weeks of me praying on Christmas Day, I knew God was doing something here. And we were at the point we went to the GP, and he said, right, you've got to pick your 3 hospitals. So we pick Norwich as the first one. Being a Norwich fan, it's got to be Norwich. Don't want my baby born in Suffolk. And Bury was the second choice, and Ipswich was the third choice. And it got to the point where, unfortunately, we had to choose Ipswich. My work scenario as well at that point in my life wasn't great. I was very unhappy with my job. I remember for a good month, maybe more, praying with my Connect group, praying with the huddle, praying with family that something would change, and I'd let God deal with it. Rather than me keep trying to search for things all the time, I'll let God take over. And he did that for me. So I remember sitting on my lunch break, had an email come through saying, "Hi Matt, job interview next Thursday, look forward to seeing you." I have no idea who these people are, not a clue. So I applied back as professionally as I could, just saying, could you send me the job description please, I look forward to seeing you next week. And it was literally the job of my dreams. And this job was incredible, and ironically also based in Ipswich. It all really kicked off in June, where I felt very distant from God. No idea why. It was just one of those ones where I just didn't feel him around me. I prayed and kept continuing to do what I could to try and feel God here again, and it just didn't happen. And I was praying with my Connect group and huddle group and about it, and it was difficult for me. But then it all kicked off, as many of you are aware. 28th of June, baby May was born, pretty much 3 months early. It was an incredible experience because everything was okay, but Soph was getting very swollen, and speaking to the doctors and so on, because you can't see him face to face, just said it was the heat. And it then led us, unfortunately, to the early hours Sunday morning of having to rush Sophie to hospital because the swelling was so bad, and a headache she was having was brutal. Dropped off at A&E again, I can't go in, and she seemed okay, so I started driving home after a couple of hours of waiting. Got a phone call saying she's been moved to the maternity ward, but she's okay, so I can go back if I want to. So we did that, and on the way back to the hospital to go see Sophie, that's when the call came in to say, "Matt, they're going to be delivering the baby. Can you get here quick?" On my way back, I was shouting at the top of my lungs, crying, probably a few swear words involved in my conversation with God on the drive home. as I drive to the hospital, sorry. And again, it was just one of those where I wanted God to be sitting right next to me. I wanted him to explain himself. Why has he been so far away from me? Why isn't he here? Why is this happening? And to experience walking in the theatre, to see Sophie laying on the bed, not with it, because she's got so much medication going in her, but then to see them then about that split second about to sort of cut into her and deliver the baby. It was horrible. It just wasn't nice to experience, and I just knew at that point that's when God turned up. That's where God had arrived again, and I just had those words in my head: focus on Sophie, I'll take care of everything else. And I just knew all I had to do was just literally focus on Sophie's face. Don't look at what's going on down there. Just focus on Sophie's face, and we'll be okay. But in all honesty, my heart was telling me that we've lost a baby. To be born 3 months early is unheard of, really, and it does happen. But yeah, so that was that, really, and the journey since then has been incredible. She's home now, but that journey throughout her being born, being in hospital for 2 months, the support and love we got from church was incredible. My work have also been incredible. To have 3 weeks off at the very beginning, just to focus on Sophie and Ruby May at the hospital, and to try and get some sort of normality going as well. They were brilliant. And and when I look back at it all, when I look back at what's happened, and especially those 2 to 3 weeks where I felt really distant from God, there's a certain psalm that I can relate to in regards to that, and it's the very beginning of Psalm 101, where it says, "My theme song is God's love and justice, and I'm singing it right to you, God. I'm finding my way down the road of right living, but how long before you show up? I'm doing the very best I can, and I'm doing it at home where it counts. I refuse to take a second look at corrupting people and degrading things." And that's exactly where I was. I mean, I was saying, how long is it going to be until God shows up? And he showed up at the right time, obviously, when I really needed him to. Everything that has happened, God has been in complete control. And I live my life now not making my own decisions to a certain degree. I let God make the decision for me. And he's still working. He's still doing things in my life right now. And physically today, to sort of see things that are happening as plan for the future, it's incredible. So I just want to finish with a prayer. God, thank you so much for taking control of our lives, that you are always there, that you never leave us. Thank you for constantly pouring out your love over us all. Your grace is just incredible. And so, Lord, I ask for everyone that is watching this right now, Lord, to pour out your love over all of them, to renew their faith in you, Lord, to know that when you are distant, when they don't feel you, to make them know that you are still there. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Yeah.